Welcome back to the MAJO Podcast, Real, Raw, Unfiltered. I'm Derek, here as always with my guy Jason. We're off for the last couple of weeks. Life got lifey, but the last episode was episode 21, where we kind of paused, reflected why we started this podcast, the conversations that surprised us, and where we hope things are headed. If you missed that one, it's called episode 21, Why We're Here and Where We're Headed. And it was I think it was a good reset for us. It was a good conversation to kind of ground us and where we're headed. So, and if that episode didn't pop up for you, it's not a conspiracy. It just means you haven't followed us yet. And we're not mad. We're not mad. We're just disappointed.
Yeah.
Okay?
We're not
just
mad yet.
disappointed. So hit the follow button so you don't miss any more episodes. Today we're talking about something that hits differently as you get older. There comes a point in time where loving something isn't the question anymore. You still love it, but now you're asking something else. What does this cost me now? We've got our guy Cameron Durand with us today. I'll let Cam introduce himself and then we'll jump in.
Well, my name is Cameron Durand. I'm an artist that I'm a singer-songwriter. That's what I would categorize myself as, and just love music and want to make music that makes people think and not just background noise. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so this episode kind of spawned off a video that you posted on Facebook a few weeks back. And it was kind of this and I'll let you kind of correct me and kind of give some more clarity for it. But from what I got from it was like this point where I think a lot of men get to, but it's like, do I continue to pursue this thing that I'm passionate about, or do I focus on taking care of bills, taking care of everyday life, focusing on just, surviving and doing what I need to do as a man. And so it's like this fork in the road that you kind of get to of pursuing passion or pursuing just making sure you're stable in life. How would you describe what that video was about?
Yeah, I think you hit it on the nail. I think it was about expression. A lot of people took it as quitting one or the other. I think what I was doing is expressing the both and the struggle that people don't talk about. So yeah, you got it right on the money.
Okay.
Well, I mean, really, honestly, it's kind of the difference between practice and passion and practicality. Like you can have passion for something, but we got to be practical at the end of the day. Like, are we going to use our free time to pursue that passion, and we're going to do something to grind, 9 to 5 while we're in between doing that? And a lot of people, like you said, I mean, they may view it as you're giving up or whatever, but at the same time, like, you've got to be practical about the situation. Yeah, there are people that can just give up everything and pursue until they hit it and break through, and that's fantastic. But that's not reality for 99% of the other people. So, having something to fall back on while you're still pursuing that is kind of a yes and situation. It means, yes, I'm still pursuing it, but at the same time, I'm also doing this. That's going to help keep a roof over my head, lights on, bills paid, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think it kind of goes to capacity too, right? Like as we get older, our capacity for things change, right? Like when you're young, for most people, I think they have kind of this unlimited energy, and you can you can stay up, go to the club until 3 a.m, get up and go to work at 7, and repeat the next day. You got this unlimited energy to pursue all sorts of things. And just as you get older, your capacity changes. And so I know my first question is, what's happening that kind of spawned that video that made you get on there and kind of share that what you're going through?
I think it's time. I think if the core of why I shared it was I'm 47 years old. Been doing something that I love for a long time, and had some successes. But I think with like every artist, you believe that you should be at a certain point in life with whatever you're passionate about or your art. And knowing that, even though I'm not a rapper, and I kind of explained this in the video, there still seems like there's a time limit on the identity of an artist, right? Like where people, it's almost like, you still doing that? And so, I'm 47. So where is the line of, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and hang it up, you know, or where it would even be effective, you know, where it's looked at as an old man trying to be something that he should have took care of in his 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you're trying. It's not like you're trying to be a SoundCloud rapper and you're still putting stuff out on SoundCloud.
Yeah, go check out my SoundCloud.
I just got 2 new uploads this week, son. Let's go. I mean, you know, it's all the difference in how people look at it. But at the same time, like they look at it like if you have a pop now, you're not selling out stadiums at 47. Like you should be on the wind down and doing like, you know, your Vegas residency or something at this point, so you don't have to tour as much. And it is kind of looked at a little bit different.
Yeah, and I think that's sort of unfair. Like, there's really no other occupations or anything to where the older you get, the worse you get. You know, you actually get better. Now, y'all therapists, right? So, you know,
I'm a therapist.
Okay.
Jason's a famous influencer. Just so you know, that dude is famous. Listen, before you got on, he was telling me the story about how he go to this restaurant and a new owner had to make sure that he keeps coming back on Tuesday nights because it wasn't going to be the same if he didn't show up. So don't let him sit here and fool you. And he got the wait staff thinking he's the owner. So he famous, man. He doing it.
All right. So you better. You've been doing it for a while. But yeah, I think that's the you know, that's the story of it is, you know, you're too old, you know, and that's kind of a fear that I think a lot of people have, especially in the arts, you know, is that and there's a reality to that too, right? Like it is a formula of the young, attractive, muscular, skinny woman, built one. You know what I mean? Like in the arts, there's a formula to what the culture wants to see. And so, yeah, I think that's a narrative that's behind it, and it just, you know, makes me wonder. Yeah.
Yeah. So so I heard you say that, you know, the fear there. What's the fear there, and what happens if it does come true?
You know, I don't know if I've actually visited that place yet. Like, I don't think that I can stop. Again, I don't ever really see myself not being what's in my blood. You know, like my mom is a singer, family is a singer, and it's just something that I don't think I would ever stop. Now, like you said, to what capacity? Will I be making albums or will I be trying to set up shows and stuff? I don't know. But if it does stop, I think it'll be like a grieving process that I would go through with myself. Which I think I've had. I think I've had that too, because I took a break and it was just something, it was like the inside of me was gone in a sense of where it was almost like a death. And that's kind of what brought it back, you know, because when I do express myself artistically, there's a form of a expression, and it feels like therapy to me, of just getting out what I feel.
It's therapeutic.
Well, and when you don't, I mean, it's kind of like what you're talking about. There is a grieving process behind it, but it was yours sound like a slow, like procedural grieving process, because as time went on, you kind of start realizing, because you're processing all these thoughts in your mind as time is going on. You're like, is it too late? Did I miss my window? Do people really want to hear this? Do people really connect with this? You know, and so it's different stages that you're grieving in, and things that you're grieving as you're going along. And then when you take your break, you have time to really think, oh, this is what it would be like if I just stopped. So that's what brought you back to the realization that, oh, I don't want to stop. I don't need this to not be in my life at all. Even if it's not on award show level or out, you know, Grammy level, all that, like I can still do what I'm doing and fill that void and have that therapeutic process of writing, creating, getting it out there. Because writing music and producing and singing and being able to put out an album is like the best form of journaling or putting a diary coming to life, because you're able to take all your feelings, thoughts, emotions and put that down on paper and then vocalize it out into the world and release it for other people to connect with how they see fit. And in doing so, you're not only being therapeutic for yourself, but you're being therapeutic for others as well.
Yeah. And that's kind of how I see it. I never thought about it as journaling, but in a lot of ways it is, which I don't journal. And so it feels like it's so exciting. It's so my blood is going, and it's like adrenaline, especially the process of creating. And I think that that's what I don't want to lose, is that creative energy that's magical in so many ways.
You said something about culture earlier, and this isn't a question I have, but it did make me think of like, why does the culture want that young? Why has the culture created that picture of what we think we want versus this place where anybody can create and do what they're passionate about, and no matter what the age you are?
Yeah, I think it's the shallowness of who we are as a culture. It's the sex sells. It's the beauty is the standard for everything, and I think this it's a reality of what we really want in America at this point, at this time. I don't think it's always been like that with art, as far as you know musically, and it was based on the talent. I don't think we at the talent place anymore. And that's another thing, that so many things have changed within a 20-year span of music, which I've been doing this since I was 18. No, 14. So it's longer than that, 33 years.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going from tapes to CDs to streaming to AI making music. Like it's a lot that has changed that I've had to try to keep up with in order to even stay relevant, right?
Right. Well, into the vanity aspect of it, it's like you ask a true consumer of music today, which are going to be the younger generation, and ask them, regardless, you take looks out of it. Don't tell them anything else. Just say, would you want to see a 47-year-old man with his shirt off in the rain, spinning around, singing to the skies with his fist over? They're gonna be like, no. Like, pop that button up open and be like, like drop to your knees. Like they're not gonna want to see it. They're gonna be like, no.
So let's get this straight. We not gonna keep that narrative that I done took that I'm taking my shirt off, that I've ever took my shirt off. But you're right though. Yeah, they don't want to see that. They want to see somebody probably dancing around, that's cut up. But you do have people that's been in the industry for a while. Like I'm thinking about Tank right now.
Yeah.
Who all his shows is with his shirt off. So some people may, and he's 50.
Hey, yeah, he's got the group for it. I promise.
Yeah.
he's got his little fan club for sure.
Yeah.
So do you think that over the course of time, your passion has changed though for doing music and creating, like, or maybe the passion to try to be, I don't know, the words come to mind is successful.
Yeah. I redefined what I feel like success is. And this is just over, a lot of time. I think, because I did gospel for a long time, 6, you know that. I mean, yeah.
6 is
and
fine.
6 is okay.
Yeah.
And my why was different. It was for the glory of God. It was to bring people to God, and just try to reach as many people as I can, but not necessarily monetary, right? Not a stage or fame. And although I'm not looking for that per se on the R&B side, I do want people to hear what I have to say. And I think that I don't have the definition of success of being famous, and I want to make a lot of money. I'm not gonna lie about that. If I'm
Yeah.
doing R&B, I want to make some money.
Mhm.
But I went through a book called Ikigai a couple months ago, and my Ikigai was basically bringing people together through art and through music, and helping them deal with their own emotional thoughts and building relationships.
Mhm.
And so that's what I'm aiming for now. And that really doesn't have a number on it. But of course, I want as many as I can to be able to hear what I'm saying and be in line, my tribe to be in line with what I'm trying to push.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Th
huge though, because I mean, a lot of people when they're following a dream like that have a hard time reframing success. Like that's powerful what you said, because a lot of people
Mhm.
have a hard time moving that goalpost because they
Mhm.
think,
Yeah.
oh, well, this is what it is. This is what I started wanting to be. And if I move it now, I'm just settling for something different.
Hmm.
But in reality, it comes with the maturity of realizing that maybe what I thought I wanted isn't exactly what I really wanted to end up with. So
Hmm.
moving the goalpost isn't settling, it's just reframing how we look at it, because that window may be closed. You may
Hmm.
not be wind up on the Grammy stage, but
Right.
we've seen stranger things happen. Like William Hung got famous for singing, or well, for singing. So
Yeah.
you you got to look at it the way it is. I mean, the things happen all the time. So I mean, the fact that you've been able to adjust that mind frame and go kind of a different look at it from through a different lens is amazing.
Mhm.
Hmm. And I also, at some points I'm like, am I settling?
Mm.
Like you say, like that it is kind of a struggle of am I am I redefining it so that I'm not failing in my own mind and heart, you know?
Mm. Mhm. Mhm.
And so, but I think when I have that why, it's more fulfilling for me on
Mhm.
this side of music.
Sure.
And and I rest in that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, what keeps coming back to my mind as you're talking about this is a lot of similarities between what you're talking about and what athletes go through,
Mm,
right? And
mm,
it feels more definite as an athlete. Like, there's no way that I'm gonna make it pro at 44. You know what I
right.
mean? Like, that's
Yeah.
that's probably not gonna happen.
I
I'm
mean,
not
Hmm.
give
even
up
gonna
if you
make it.
want to. Give up
Uh,
if you want to. I'm just saying.
I'm I mean, not even gonna make it to the G League, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
you're right.
uh, I might make it to, the starting or the keep getting picked up every game at the Planet Fitness, but that's about
Yeah.
that's about it, you know?
Come on, big
Um,
man.
right, yeah, yeah. The way my knees are set up now, though, probably not.
Yeah. And thinking
Um,
about that, do you remember that time I
oh
crossed
Lord,
you?
listen,
We
listen,
ain't gonna go there,
listen,
but go
listen,
ahead. Go
listen,
ahead.
listen. You remember that time at IHOP though? Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll take that
Okay.
one over with that fake story you're telling. Anyway, what you had said about like when you kind of felt like you aggrieved for a moment and having that kind of empty spot inside. I think that there's a huge similarity as an athlete because you for
Mm,
so long are doing this thing and your identity gets wrapped up in doing this thing and people know you for doing this thing
mm,
and especially with me being 6'10", like they look at you like they look at me and like, oh, you play basketball, stuff, so like identity just wrapped up in it. And so I know the same
mm,
thing for you. I mean, singing since you were 14, being in music since you were young, like, and people knowing you for singing, you know what I'm saying? So it does get to this place where it stops and it is like this
mm,
this empty part inside. And so the question popped up that I thought was a good one of like growing up and even going into adulthood. What did you learn about needing to earn approval or worth through performance?
mm,
Because I think for me, it was like my worth for a long time was determined by my performance.
mm.
And if I wasn't doing something, or I not make the, even as I got older, not making a league, like the people that looked at me and the worth they think that I had, it seemed like because I wasn't pro, I wasn't as worthy. And so I'm curious for you as an artist, growing up, how do maybe you attach approval or worth to your performance?
Okay, that's a good question. um, it's kind of a dichotomy because, like I said, when I was doing gospel, my worth was God. You know what I mean, and how He saw me. Um, I think with where I'm at now, it's that idea of if you're doing something, you should have A, B, and C. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you got an album out, oh, your song is on the radio, or those things like that. Where I'm at a start over stage. There's like, I don't want to front like I'm killing it. You know what I'm saying? But I also want people to know that I'm pushing, um, without sounding like it's not working. And I think the word that's attached it's in my identity. It's like, and that's kind of like what I was saying in the video, is that when somebody asks me, so what do you do? If I'm at around a lot of people, first thing I'm gonna tell them about is the print shop. Because I feel like there's more success in that, and it helps people identify with somebody who's doing something with their life. I'm never like, I'm a artist, singer, songwriter, because they probably don't know who I am. And then my worth feels like failure. Like, oh, and then they see the salt and pepper, so they like, you a singer? So yeah, I think it's an uncomfortable identity to to accept, and that's what the video is about too. I have accepted that I am an artist, and that came with tears, honestly. We're going through the Ikigai book, because that was the reality that I might not get where I want to be with the pursuing what I want to do. Right. The Ikigai talks about your profession, your passion, and, different parts of who you are. And it was like, I am an artist. But the reality is I may just be an artist that doesn't get where he wants to be. And part of that, it doesn't make me want to give up. It doesn't necessarily make me want to push harder either. It just makes me want to do. If that makes sense. Like, because I'm not chasing success, but I want impact. And I want people to hear what I have to say. And there's just this tug of war of, in my mind, that it might not happen, but that's okay. But it might not happen. But it might happen.
And the thing about it is that, like, you've come to a place to realize that it may or may not happen, but the fact that you're still wanting to do and to put it out there and push it means that the library is out there for somebody to find. It just if you want to make that impact, and you want people are eventually going to come across that work, and it's going to make the impact on them. They're going to be able to pick it up, take it, and perceive it however they feel, and however it hits them at the time that they listen to it, because that'll be different for everybody. But they're going to turn it on to somebody else they feel like could use it at the same time. So just putting it out there and having it out there, like you said, you may not reach commercial success, but if you can help one person through your music, that's success in itself.
Yeah.
Well, two things come to mind. I think one is, I think we're at the same place with the podcast. You know what I mean? Of like, we're doing this. It's not like we have thousands of views, and we're 22 episodes in, and, a couple episodes ago we said this, but like, most podcasts don't make it this far. Most people give up by this time. right?
Yeah.
And so that was a huge milestone to hit episode 20 or 21 and keep going. Uh, and there's still that piece, especially for me, because I'm entrepreneur and I want to try to do everything to the best and really get out there. And it's hard to 22 episodes in to be sitting at tens of views instead of hundreds
Yeah.
of views, right? But
Right.
there is a part of that of like accepting, you know, there's a pride issue there. I don't think a pride issue, but it hits the pride, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And going back to, we started this because we wanted to do it. We just wanted to do it. We didn't start this
Mhm.
because we wanted to, become famous and millionaires off of this. We started because there's a lot of bro heavy podcasts out there
Mhm.
that frame men poorly and talk about stupid stuff that doesn't really matter. And we wanted to bring something out that was talking about real life stuff like this,
Yeah.
right? And gives just something. So whoever runs across it. And if it impacts them, it impacts them. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But we just wanted to put something out that would counter the nonsense that's out there.
Mhm.
And I think the second thing that comes to mind that I'm hearing is kind of attached to another question of, as men, how has what we've produced or how hard we worked or how successful we've become been tied to love or attention?
Mhm.
Right. So thinking about as an athlete or as an artist or as an influencer, if like if it's like, oh, I play basketball, or I'm an artist. Oh, how many listeners you got, or what level did you play on, or and it's like, I think there's a deeper thing for men that our worth is tied to what we produce or how hard we work or how successful we are. And I think that's an issue and a struggle for us to deal with as we get older.
And so that came to mind. Really, the last 4 or 5 months is losing hope in effort,
Hmm.
and that has been a big thing for me mentally. Is how much effort, um, and does effort work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and what are the end results? And because again, being an older man, there's a lot of things I've tried. Some things have been successful, some things have failed. And when the odds are lower for it to be the success that you want, how much effort do I continue to put into it?
Mm-hmm.
And that's been a real struggle for me. Mhm.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's crazy to think about it too, but you you think about it and you're like, yeah, the success side of things, if you were to pop overnight tomorrow and somebody offered you $100 million contract,
Mhm.
how much of that fire is still going to be in you to create
Right.
and do the things that you do now? Like,
Mhm.
it's not going to hit the same because,
Mhm.
as a lot of people talk about, how when artists hit a certain point, they're everything about what they put out changes. Well, it's
Mhm.
because they were starving artists before, so they had a hunger inside of them, and what they were talking about was relatable to the people that were listening because they're on the same level, trying to get
Mhm.
to where they have gotten to now. And now the struggles are not the same. They don't. You give me
Right.
$100 million, I ain't struggling for shit. We're
Yeah.
going to talk about a
Mhm.
lot of different stuff, and it's not going to be relatable anymore because the stuff I'm
Right.
talking about is not the stuff that we're not talking
Right.
about the same things anymore.
You
Mm-hmm.
bet.
And it's that's just the thing about it. Like, the passion that you approach your music with now is the best place it can be approached from, because
Mhm.
you have the passion for it. You have something that you want to say. You have something that's relatable to people, and you're connecting with the people in that way. And it's like, me trying to keep, D in kind of alignment with the struggle of starting this, and then it's not just going to pop overnight, and that those tens of listeners become 20s, become hundreds, become, down the road. Because
Mhm.
I've been podcasting for over 5 years, almost 6 years now, and I know what it looks like. I know what it looks like when it starts. I know what it looks like in the middle. I know what it looks like when you really start kind of collecting, followers, listeners, all that kind of stuff. And it's hard to get somebody with the entrepreneurial mindset to understand that it's just going to take a little bit. Like,
Mhm.
those types of mindsets don't simmer well they're ready to boil. Like they want to turn the heat on and
Mhm.
boil the pot. Like the simmer aspect is not for that. Like bringing it up to a boil is not going to work. And I just have been around it long enough to know what that looks like. But it doesn't necessarily, like, building it organically from a place of true intention means way more than a gimmick that just pops overnight.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you get a contract tomorrow for $100 million,
Look here.
listen,
Gucci bag.
listen. You need a
What
manager?
else? Hey, man. Hey, man, I'm gonna need something.
You need something.
I'm gonna need a manager, an influencer, a therapist.
Therapist, yeah. You know, all of that. So I want to kind of bring it back to just like in general as men, I think, and this is a question for all three of us. I'm trying to come up with an answer myself, but how did energy feel in your 20s compared to now? You'd mentioned something about energy back then, but like how does energy feel in 20s compared to now?
Man, it's so different. It's so different because like again, I say time is more of a focus of how long I got left. And so my energy, I can't waste it, you know? And it's not as much as it was. I mean, you go from, I used to work in the shop, man. I used to be working, 12, 15
Yeah,
hours
grinding.
grinding and feet didn't hurt, back didn't hurt, none of that, you know? And now if I stay up too late on a Wednesday night, my whole week is messed up. Because
Just trash.
right. I ain't gonna be no good until Monday or until I get a good power nap in. You know what I mean? In between Wednesday and Sunday. So yeah, we not the same young bucks that we were. Yeah.
Yeah. So who taught you early on that, and I agree, obviously. I'm like, trying to go as hard as I used to go is just not working anymore. Cause if I'm not in bed by midnight,
Yeah.
Listen,
then I'm trash.
I helped somebody move today, and by help somebody move, I'm post-op having some heart procedure done. So I stood there and watched people move. My friend, I didn't do shit. I signed for the truck and I drove it to her house and I watched. And I came home and took a nap. And I didn't even do shit. I watched people lift stuff and I came home and took a nap. That's the level of energy I have at 49. So trust and believe.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah. I wish somebody would call me to ask to move right now. Like, what?
Listen,
go get your nephews, go pay them with a pizza, because that's the only thing that people pay you with when you help them move when you're younger. You know what I mean? Yeah, we gonna order some pizzas here.
Yep, that's it.
So yeah, after 40, I think I said I ain't moving nobody else, and I got a truck. So you better not ask me to move. I'm like, okay, you need to reevaluate your friend circle.
Hey,
because I'm not one of them.
Yeah, you may have to put me on the outs, Donna, because I'm telling you right now.
Yeah. No, listen, we were looking at houses over the summertime, and we were like, I'm not moving. I'm not moving.
I told Sarah she's got one more move out of me, and I'm not. And even this time, I'm not moving jack. We're hiring movers. I'm not only hiring movers. I'm hiring packers and movers because I'm not packing shit.
The whole nine.
So you're gonna pack it. You're gonna box it. You're gonna tape it. You're gonna lift it. I'm just gonna point and be like in that corner over there.
Now to go back to the energy thing, like I am a song finisher, right? So if I start on the song in the same day, I'm gonna finish it that day. So if I start at 8 p.m., I'm not gonna stop till 4 a.m. if that's how long it takes, which I've done a lot of stuff like that. And that's different. That hits different now because, waking up and not staying up all night ain't the same in your 20s as it is in your 40s. And so that has put a pause in the way that I operate. Every Monday I go write. So no matter what I'm doing, I have a Monday night write session, and I'm just working the pen and practicing the pen.
Yeah, I've had to adjust too because I got multiple things that I'm working on right now, and used to I'd be that same way where I'd get focused and I would literally work. And well, even when we had the business, man, to grow,
Mhm.
bro, we would be up there till 2, 3, 4 in the morning,
Mhm.
just grinding. There was times Sheena's worked 36 hours straight,
Mhm.
bro, packing pre-rolls for a big order and stuff like that, a special order or something
Mhm.
like that. Man,
Mhm.
ain't no way. Ain't
Yeah.
no way. I'm not doing that no more. And so with
Mhm.
everything I have going on right now, it really is like looking at adjusting and if I have an urge to do this, I'm gonna focus on this for a couple hours and I'm gonna be good and set it down and I'll come back to it when I get the energy to do it again. But so this was a question that popped up. Who taught you early on that rest meant laziness or weakness?
Ooh, man, that's um I think I think it was my dad.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
I think it was my dad. Um and I remember being in the room one day, and I was 18. I had just put out my first project, and I had a 50 tapes that I had just bought for the project. And he opened up my door one day and just had to know, it was like, them tapes ain't gonna sell, they sell.
mm,
You better get up and push them.
mhm,
And so, and that was, around the Master P area. I
mhm.
mean, era.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And, people was just walking up on people with Walkmans and this is my tape. Yeah, I've
Mhm.
been around that long.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I think it was my dad, man. It's like, and my uncle too. My uncle always taught me that, just work hard, and eventually something will happen.
Mm,
Which I question that now.
mhm,
Not that he was wrong, but there has to be some intelligence in how you working too, instead
mhm,
of just the grind. Because I think I took it as just grinding anything out instead of actually putting a strategy together. And so I
mhm,
had to unlearn that as I got older. It's like, it's not just about how long I'm working or how much work I'm doing. It's what type of work I'm doing.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah, it's definitely the work smarter, not harder situation because you gotta put, like you said, put a strategy to it in order for it to go anywhere.
mhm. What
Mhm.
about you, Jason? Who did somebody teach you that rest meant laziness when you was growing up?
Not not when I was growing up. It was more that was more societal pressure than anything. My parents kind of
Mm,
let me do what I was doing. It wasn't really until my mom actually showed me without saying anything to me kind of how that worked because when 1985 was when my dad was kind of the height of his like work. Like he was working at the airport and he had a couple of contracts out there and he was bringing home like $125,000 a year in 1985.
Mhm.
So he was, oh boy, was balling back in the day.
mhm,
And then he just decided he was going to take that shit and go somewhere else. And he was going to take his talents to South Beach. So he just
Yeah.
he up and took off, and my mom was left holding the bag. Like my mom had no job because she was keeping his books and taking care of us, raising us, and she was housewife that did the books. And so she was like, "Well, all right." He left her with a house payment that she didn't ever have to worry about before, 2 car payments, and just left.
mm,
And so
Mhm.
she was like, "Well, shit." It was the summertime, so we were out of school, so we're just chilling at the house, and she's like, "What am I going to do now?" So she had to not only go through her contacts, get a job that was going to pay enough for her to tackle this house payment, car payments, all this stuff, and be able to put us in daycare. And she did all of that within like 2 months,
Mhm.
and worked her way from being a secretary in the Senate of the Oklahoma State Senate all the way till what she retired as the vice president of the Oklahoma Bankers Association from being a housewife that just took care of books. And
Mhm.
my dad went from making $125,000 a year to just not working at all and being on disability forever because he just thought he was just going to milk the system and just not work. So he passed away, never have worked, like he hadn't worked in 30 some odd years. And I think, last time he had a job, I think, was 1993.
Wow.
And then he just didn't work again until he passed away. But that showed me firsthand like what that meant, because I had been to work with her and I'd been to work with him. He didn't really do a whole lot for his $125,000 a year. She worked her ass off for what she was making. And then by the time she got done, by the time she retired, like I had seen every aspect and facet of her and what she did. And what she was able to build, to me, was far more impressive than what he was able to do. Because she built hers out of necessity, because she was left holding the bag. And I was like, what am I going to do? And she figured it out. Like, so to me, that's what showed me kind of like what, to Cameron's point, it's about to work smarter, not harder. It's like, what do you have to do to position yourself in the right way and make these connections, but also make the connections work for you. It's not just about how many people you know. It's about how many people you know that can put you in the places where you need to be.
Right. Sustainable effort.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Versus just grinding, surviving, and pushing through. It's this sustainable effort to make sure whatever effort you're putting in, it's purposeful and needed, and it's sustainable. What is the cost of creating now for you that it wasn't before, Cameron?
I know I keep going back to this, but it's time. The cost of creating, but it's also it's fulfilling too. You know what I mean? So there's a cost and a reward. And for me, the reward is greater than the cost, because like I said, I feel like it's something that's a part of me. And so I don't look at the cost as being something that's too much, unless, so let me kind of break down how the music industry used to work to how it is now, since that's what we're talking about music. A project would cost in early 2000s, the project would cost anywhere from $2,500 to $3,500. And that's with mixing and mastering and getting CDs in, and promotions and stuff like that. I'm talking about on an independent level. That's what I was doing. And you could do 3 or 4 shows and sell those physical CDs to kind of recoup what you put out.
Right.
Now, the cost is still the same, unless you have your own studio, or which is a lot cheaper now, but you got to learn the programs and everything. But streaming, you're not selling physical units anymore, so you might put $2,000 into it and literally get $6 back in 6 months. And so that side of it is like, I can't keep doing that because that costs too much. But at the same time, the love that I have for it is like, I'm gonna do it because I love it,
Yeah. It's the different return on investments. Like, you get with the time aspect of it, the return on investment is worth it for you, because it's how you get out. It's your data dump. It's how you get rid of the emotions and the feelings that you're having and put them out to the world. But
Right.
when it comes to monetary, like the monetary thing, like when I heard the other day how much, like, versus selling physical copies to get to diamond versus streams to get to diamond, it's bananas. The difference in what you have, like the units you have to move or streams you have to have in order to do that. And the streaming service has really kind of murdered the recording industry anyway, as far as any kind of money you can make. You have to tour and do shows, otherwise you're not making it.
Sell merch, all that stuff. Yeah.
And I think too, with my maturity, that's where, because I'm with a group called 778 Music Group, and we put together our own shows. We're not dependent on people to try to book us, for anything. And so we have an event called the Backyard Symphony, and we have an event called Soul of the City, where we do cover songs and original songs at both shows. So the Backyard Symphony is mainly for local artists to showcase their own songs. Soul of the City is kind of a kick it spot where you're gonna get a lot of cover songs, but we're gonna use that as a way to also sing our own songs so people can learn those as well. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
So what happens when the thing that feeds your soul though doesn't reliably pay the bills?
That's what I'm going through right now. 6. And I think at the end of the day, I gotta eat. And I was talking to somebody today about, since success is not financial for me, I'm never living in my car to try to gain something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, does that mean I don't love it as much as I say I do? No. I just I'm not I'm not chasing fame and chasing fortune. And so the fact that I can just do what I love to do and not be dependent on the success of it, um, I'm gonna pay my bills. Like, I'm gonna get a job, I'm gonna eat. And I've always had a job while doing it, right? Even when I could have not had a job. There was a point where I toured when I was doing gospel, and man, everything was good, you know, getting 1,500 to 2,500 a show. And, I'm booked 2 or 3 times a month. And so that happened for years, and it was great. Um, but at the end of the day, yeah, I'm gonna pay my bills. I gotta have somewhere to stay. Yeah.
Well, and I also think people, to Cameron's point, he's not living in his car. Like, he set that boundary. He's not living in his car. People that don't set boundaries with their passions, the people that do set the boundaries with their passions, doesn't mean that they're not dedicated. Doesn't mean that they don't want it. It just means that there's going to be boundaries. Like, I'm not digging in a trash can for dinner. I'm not going to sleep in my car. I'm not going to, take shots. There's lots of things I'm not going to do to achieve the success. Doesn't mean I don't want it. It just means that there's boundaries I'm going to set up in order to get there.
And see, the music industry is kind of set up with, like, romanticizing things. Like, if you really want it, you're gonna pay your dues and you're gonna do whatever it takes, and that's how a lot of people get swindled and hustled. And
That's how Diddy got a lot of people.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so and it's a hope and it's a dream, right? So you can be convinced that if you're not practicing 4 hours a day, and if you're not traveling to LA to sleep in your car, it's almost like a thing that's like I said, it's a romanticized. It's a good thing. It's almost like in the Black culture where it's kind of like going to jail make you an OG. I don't know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They call it like it's a rite of passage.
Right.
It's a rite of passage to go do all those things, and it's like, no, not really. Like, I can hit this, because you think about it. How many people hit off of YouTube? How many people hit sitting in their bedroom playing music on the guitar in their bedroom, and all of a sudden now they're famous? Because it's just about the avenues and how quick you get picked up. It's not about having to go. I don't have to go sleep in my car to do that.
Right.
There's lots of like Carrie Underwood started playing little county fairs, and look at her now. Now she's one of the biggest global stars there is. She didn't sleep in her car. She granted, she's from Chakota, Oklahoma, so it's like sleeping in a car but different. But at the same time, like, you go from playing little county, playing wherever they'll allow you to play, to all of a sudden, like that's enough pain to, like, even if like they try to talk shit about people that made it from the internet, those people still they still uploaded videos that nobody watched. They still uploaded videos where they got a bunch of hate comments. They still made it through all those things, even though they weren't running out playing every local, hole in the wall they could play until they hit big. It's the internet's version of a hole in the wall. It's putting something out that has 1 or 2 views on it, but it's something you poured your heart into. Like, it's still, it's regardless. It just looks a little different. That's all.
And I think too, like with the video that I posted, I was really trying to express the both and. and this is just what we as artists, we struggle with. We have these thoughts, they're real thoughts, and there's real thoughts of giving up, and there's real thoughts of how much energy you can put into something without it being what you want it to be. And that's okay.
Right.
That's
Right.
okay. Just do what you feel and what you love, and just let everything else fall where it needs to fall.
Yeah, that's been a difficult one for me over the course of time, man. ADHD and kind of having an entrepreneur mindset, man. There's been a lot of times that what I was pushing for wasn't paying bills, and I was letting it. We were in survival mode, um, and it wasn't until I started doing therapy. But even then, like doing therapy, like in my grad program, a lot of people don't know this, but in my grad program, uh, I had to get another job and just to make ends meet, and wasn't paying nothing, man. But it was what we had to do, but I knew there was going to be an outcome to it at a certain point. That's
Yeah.
different than art or athletics or anything like that. I knew there would be an outcome, so it was worth it. But there's been other things, I mean, to grow. Like we didn't get a paycheck for months at a certain point, like because we were still trying to push it. But I think the difference is those things didn't feed my soul. Like all the things
Yeah.
that I tried, like there was like what I was pushing for was money, trying to make money, and I would push to a point and grind to a point that we didn't have anything. But it was when I sat in a room with somebody for the first time and just felt that, like sitting across from somebody and being maybe the only person in their life that they have that they can just unload on and just cry and be vulnerable in front of, like that feeds my soul now. And I'm thankful that I found that, and that does pay my bills reliably, right? But I think the question that I'm getting to, that, or maybe the statement that I'm getting to that I want people to think about it, I think in a lot of those times in the failed businesses that I had before this, I think that it was the kid trying not to disappoint versus the adult choosing wisely that took over, right? And it took a lot of work for me to recognize that, a lot of therapy and a lot of work for me to recognize that. And now when I feel myself getting to that place of, oh, I got to do this because I want people to look at me and see my worth, or I don't want to disappoint, or I don't want to do that. Like, it's like, hold on, like you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that approval that you're looking for. That's past stuff.
Yeah.
You gotta step in and choose wisely. What is the wise? Like your kids are almost all grown. You only have limited time left with your kids. And so keep doing what you're doing, taking care of your kids. Like the approval of everybody else doesn't matter. The approval of the people in the house matters, right? And so I think for me that was a whole journey to get to a place in my 40s where I finally recognized that, put us in a lot of bad situations. But I think the thing that maybe people sit with is like, what does security mean in your house growing up? Was security money, stability, approval, or just keeping the peace? And doing some of that work right there to see really why you may be pursuing something that is not paying your bills or making you sleep in your car, or and be aware of the what's the word I'm looking for? Like dramatized or fantasized stories. Like the dude from The Office, I remember his story. I didn't watch The Office, but it was Pam and what's the guy's name that Pam was with?
Jim.
Jim. Yeah, Jim. His story where he was like, I was about to go back home after 2 years, and because I wasn't getting anything, and I called my mom and like, okay, well, I'm gonna come back home. And then like the next week he auditioned for The Office and got the role, right? Like that is fantasized. That's not how it usually works.
Right.
And so living towards a fantasy is getting people caught up, but a lot of it is driven from childhood stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've talked about a little bit, but how has your definition of success changed over time? I'm interested in your perspective, Jason, but Cam, how has your definition of success changed over time? I know you mentioned it earlier, but mention it again.
Yeah. I think my definition has been more on impact instead of objective um, and things, you know. And this is what I was thinking about this today, like what do I really want, you know? Like, do I want money at the end of it all? Like, do I want to be rich? Do I want to be famous? Do I want attention? You know, do I want likes? Like, what is it that I want? And again, I think it goes back to my core values is I want people to hear what I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
And through my music, through my art, I think I can say it better through my art.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, it's kind of weird that I don't feel like I'm a great communicator, but I know I can write a song that's a great song, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it hits people deep into their soul. I feel like I have this gift of saying what people feel when they don't know how to say it. Because that's what music is, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
in certain way, it's matching the emotions of what a person feels with words. And you're never really able to match it fully. But I feel like that's part of what I can do. And
Mm-hmm.
so I honestly forgot what the question was, but I
How is your
ended up there.
definition of no, you're good. How
Yeah,
your
okay.
definition of success has
No, no,
changed over
you
time.
Yeah,
answered it.
Yeah, you
yeah,
answered it. You're
Without
good.
knowing
yeah.
You're good.
Okay. Okay.
Jason?
I think mine kind of aligns with Cameron in that way. Like I used to think that I wanted all these things, but honestly, once I started connecting with people genuinely and hearing what they had to say in regards to things that I have said or ways that I have helped them through tough times or whatever that may be, like that put me on a whole nother that was a whole nother plane of existence for me, a whole nother level, almost you
Whole
could say.
nother level.
But
Sorry,
no,
you seen that Key and the Rock in the
Yeah.
exhibit skit that they did?
Yeah.
The Rock and the exhibit were in an interview, and Key was it Key or Peele? One of them came in being a janitor, and every time he say a whole nother level. Sorry, my
I'm
bad.
gonna
yeah,
check that
ADHD
out.
moment.
no, but it really honestly, like it was a whole different situation for me once that happened because, you know, a lot of times we get on here and we talk, you know, we just say things and we don't understand that we don't get to hear the feedback or see how it touches people or how it connects with people. But having people come up to you or having people, you know, inbox you and tell you, oh, hey, when you said this thing, like I was really struggling and you put this into a perspective I had never thought about before. And it connected with me in this way. Like that let me know right offhand, like I don't need, you know, $100 million Spotify deal to legitimize what I'm doing. If I can connect and reach people, like now, granted, do I want $100 million Spotify deal? Sure, I'll take
Whole nother level.
Mhm.
but at the same time, like I no longer need that to feel like what I'm doing is meaningful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think mine has changed to my kids. Like how can I impact my kids first and be different than what my parents have been for me, and seeing them get to a place in their life that they're stable, doing what they want to do, you know, doing what they love, making mistakes without shame or guilt or anything like that I had a lot growing up and at that age. I think that's where I'm getting to a point I'll define success. My relationship with
Mhm.
my kids
Mhm.
being better than what my relationship is with my parents. Um, you know, and it sucks. One of my things that I'm having to grieve and work through and get to a place of acceptance and forgiving myself is focusing so much on the external when they grew up.
Mhm.
You know, spending time traveling for shows and, you know, going places, spending weeks at a time, you know, South by Southwest, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, and thinking I got time. And now, like, with all five of my older kids being 18 and older and the two younger ones being 13 and 14, like, nah, man. That
That's the
time
biggest
Yeah.
lie. That's the biggest lie we tell ourselves when we're young is we got time. Because I
right.
promise
Mhm.
you, yesterday I was 25 and now I'm
Mhm.
40.
Mhm.
So trust and
Yeah.
believe it. Shit.
Yeah.
When nobody ever understands when older people tell them like it goes by so fast. They're like, nah, I got all the time in the world. Yeah, okay. You go ahead and think that. I promise you, you're gonna wake up tomorrow and you're gonna be 49 like me.
Yep.
Yep.
And so I've switched my idea of success to that. How is my relationship with my kids? And how can I be supportive of them? Not intruding, but supportive of them. And when they get to a place where they're stable and their parents, they're doing what they want, that's how I'll define success at that point.
Yeah, but you also have to let go of what you did when you were younger and not be in there. And you gotta focus more on what you're doing with them now. How's your relationship now?
Right.
Or how can you repair some of the things that you didn't do or did do or were gone for and those types of things. Like you have time. The time you have now is for making sure that you guys are good from that point to now. What's moved forward because we can't change what we did.
Yeah. No, and I think if I died tomorrow, I think I'd be in a place where I'm comfortable with, I'm just not where I want it to be. It's not even close where I want it to be. It's a lot better than what it was, and I'd be comfortable that they would be okay. Question: if the younger you could see your life today, what would surprise him the most?
Ooh. It's crazy. I asked this question on Facebook a couple of weeks ago. I think that I don't really care what people think about me anymore. The younger me was very concerned about that. But the older me cares. I don't care. I proudly don't care. Like, oh yeah, you don't like me, or cool. I'm good. So I think the confidence. He would be surprised by the confidence, and I think that's the main thing.
I think for me, it would probably be the fact that even though I didn't do because when I was younger, I thought that psychology was going to be my thing. I was going to go be a psychologist, and I was going to save the world and do the things. But I think I would be. I don't think I would be as surprised as most people would think, like as most people would be, because I'm still helping people, it's just in a different way. Because to me, I've always been kind of the armchair therapist kind of deal. Like I'll always try to help talk you through your problems and find the things and find helpful solutions and stuff like that, even though it's not professional. But I've always kind of done the things that I'm doing now. So I think I don't think I would be as surprised. Probably the lane just looks a little different, but I mean, honestly, the end result is still the same.
Yeah, I think it depends on what age younger we're going to, because there was a point in time I thought I was going to go to California and be a pimp. So, 14, 15 years old, and,
okay.
If we're going back there, I would be pleasantly surprised the fact that I'm not in jail right now, because the way I used to talk to people, treat people, or try to. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I had an agenda to hurt the world. I was not in a good place back then.
Did you have a name, Six? Or like what was they gonna call you?
What was your pimp name?
No, I didn't have a pet. It's a no name, like no pimp name.
I can't move to California and not have a pimp name, dog. Come on, man.
Listen, I was just trying to figure out. Listen, I was gonna steal this. What was it? 350. What's the Nissan? The old school ones, like 350. Yeah, and zoom out to California in a stolen car, end up on the beach being the pimp, bro.
Man,
what is your gigantic ass gonna do in a little bitty 350?
Hey, listen,
I'm 6'4" and can't fit in a 350. You're 6'10", dog. Hey, no
I wasn't
way.
thinking that far ahead.
Apparently not. That was a failed plan to begin with, dog.
I was gonna be surrounded by women.
Yeah,
got that part right.
350.
I got that one right. I got that part right. I'm surrounded by women, and I'm like, what the heck was I thinking, boy?
You're not in Cali, but you're surrounded by women.
Yeah. No, I think as a little bit older than that, though, I think finding something that really resonates, like therapy does, and because they're younger, I didn't think I was gonna live past 25, honestly. And then it was always about basketball. And if it wasn't basketball, then there was nothing there was no success other than that. And so to see me now, if my younger version saw me now and saw how much fulfillment I get from what I do, I think he'd be surprised. So, question, what did you have to let go of as you got older that once kept you safe?
These some deep questions. What did I have to let go of that kept me safe? Man, I think part of me let go of fear.
Mm.
Yeah, I let go of
Of?
fear of not making it.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
and I think that there was always this thing that I could see in my brain of what it was to make it, and that kept the hope, which felt like safety too. Was
Mhm.
like the reason that I'm doing this because I'm about to go from A to B, you know. But letting go of that, um, it made me more comfortable.
I had to let go of the fact that there was a safety net or somebody was going to save me or somebody was going to do the work for me. I had to just get
Mm.
up and do what I wanted to do for me. Like I wasn't gonna, I couldn't rely on anybody else to do the stuff for me, kind of ride along or expect somebody else to do the work and me just be there. Like I had to
Mhm.
actually get up and do something, and part of that was like Ken said, fear. I had to let go of the fear of if I'm the one doing it, if I because at one point it was like, well, if somebody else is doing it and I'm just there for the ride, then if it fails and falls apart, it's not me. It's a collective.
Mhm.
I don't have to shoulder the end result by myself if I'm there with the collective. And it got to a point where I need to just be as equally responsible or do the things, for just as much as for myself as I do for the community or for the group that I'm with or whatever that may be. And that opened my eyes to a completely different way of approaching the way that I do, all the different things that I'm doing.
Mm. Yeah, that's interesting. I think looking soft, like I wanted to put on this hard exterior and be hard, and you wasn't gonna disrespect me, and you weren't gonna talk crazy to me, and have over the course of time had to let that go. That used to keep me safe, right? Like, because I was bullied growing up when I was real young, you know what I mean? And, you know, poor, thick glasses, I was bullied a lot as a little kid, and then got to a point where you couldn't bully me no more. And
Mhm.
that resonated. That felt safe. Felt good, but it was
Yeah.
safety, right? It was a fear of somebody seeing. And I got like, I wrote, Cam, I wrote poetry at one point. Like my wife knows this. Like I'm a big teddy bear, and I didn't want nobody to see that. And so now it has been, I had to let go of that trying to be hard to not let
Mhm.
people see my tenderness that was taken advantage of as a kid, you know, by other kids, which they're just kids. They're doing what kids do, but taken advantage of. I've had to let that go and just start to be me. And there's gonna be softer parts that are gonna come out of that. And if people take advantage of it, people take advantage of it. Um, because it's exhausting being hard all the time
Mhm.
and trying to put on that front like nothing bothers you. It's just what you gonna
You
say,
know,
King?
what's kind of crazy is as a singer, you're looked at as soft too.
Mm,
And
mhm,
so sometimes you have to have that persona like, just because I sing don't mean I can't fight, especially in my
mhm,
culture.
mhm,
So I know what you're talking about with that.
mhm.
It's like they think that you're effeminate or, or soft,
Or weak,
just
yeah,
because,
soft, weak.
yeah,
Mhm,
yeah, just because your vocal cords can do what theirs can't.
Yeah.
That don't mean these hands can't do.
Right. Right. I think it was Busy Bone said, "Don't let the light skin fool you. I will f you up."
Right. No, but like most of your point though, D, like I was the same way. Like we're talking about our 14, 15-year-old self. Like I grew up wanting to fight the world. Like I didn't care. I didn't give a shit if you were old, grown men, didn't matter. Like I wanted to fight. But I really didn't though. I didn't want to, but I thought I had to.
Right.
Even though because I grew up bullied, because from the third grade on, I was the tallest kid in school. I was taller than teachers, principals, all that stuff. And so I was getting picked on same. And it just turned out to be like, I didn't turn into a bully, but you weren't going to punk me either. Like I thought I had to take on the world with that. And it is exhausting because I don't want to do that shit. And I look at it now and I'm like, well, you got a lot. Like I've got a short fuse tempo wise if we're like in a driving situation, but if we're out in public somewhere, like I'm 49 years old. I'm not trying to fight. Like I'm not good. I'm not getting into all that. I just like, to me, there was so much power and like ability to rest when I just let that shit go. Cause I'm like, for what? Okay, so I get into it with some dude out in public and I beat that dude up. So what? Like, what does that do for me? That doesn't do anything for me. I created or I added to an altercation that I could have just as easily de-escalated and been like, hey, listen, that was a dick move, but let's be honest here. Either you were a dick, I was a dick, something happened, but we really don't have to take it that damn far. Like, it doesn't have to be all that. Like, call it what it is. If you be man, like it takes more of a man to apologize than it does to fight somebody. If you messed up, just be like, hey man, my bad. Sorry about that. I didn't see you. Whatever happened, just call it out. What it is, accept it, and move on. Like that, just trying to do all that stuff. Like back in the day, I thought it was absolutely necessary. I'd parallel park in the middle of the street and jump out of the car and crawl across the hood on somebody, try to bust a window. Like, trust me, if there's a way to fight somebody on the street, I've tried to do it. And it's just like, I'm surprised. I'm even sitting here to talk to y'all right now, the shit that I've done, jumping out on people. So the fact that, there was, like I said, there was so much power in letting all that shit go and just being what it is, like so much calmer now. It's just easier. Like I look forward to going out in public now. Whereas before it's like, oh, who am I gonna have to fight today? It's like,
you know what's crazy? I thought you looked familiar too, because one time I was on 23rd and Penn.
Listen, one day that story's gonna be true. I will be like,
and I had cut this guy off, and somebody crawled across my window.
One day I'm just gonna have to exit the stage. I'm just gonna be like, I don't think that was me, bro. I never even drove on 23rd.
Oh, okay.
It was for me. It was hard to keep that up when your knees go out on you. Like you got 60-year-old knees at 35. You can't do much fighting anymore.
Crawl over here and hit me,
right?
Or defend it when somebody put that cross on.
Oh my God!
But go ahead.
Listen, man. Listen, I was trying to wrestle with Amaria today because I was taking a nap, and this girl went and got a snowball, and she hit me with a snowball while I was asleep. And so I went and put on some clothes, put on my boots, and everything. I'm sitting there. So I walk up on her, try to wrestle. Tell me why my knees go out, and I fall down. And she's like, "What just happened?" And I'm like, "I'm old. I can't do this no more."
My knees hit the factory reset button.
Right. My knees was like, "Nope, not today."
Left the chat.
Yeah. So last two questions I got. I know we kind of just talking about some deeper stuff, but how do you keep passion alive without letting it consume you?
I think, again, it's the reward cost principle. And there's times where I'm like, okay, I'm not putting no more energy into it. But then when I get to the studio or I do an event and people are happy, that reward is like it's fulfilling. And it's really what's really the thing that I love the most is completing a song.
Mm.
Because it's nothing into something, right? So it's an idea, and then it's this struggle to make the verse make sense with the hook, and then the second verse tie into the to hook, and it's all where it ties into a knot at the end, and you sing where you were supposed to sing. You hit this note where it was supposed to be. I listened to it a million times, and it's a feeling that I get like, okay, that felt good, and I could take it home and say, listen and be like, oh, I need to do this. And I go back to the studio and add little parts. And when it's complete, where I feel like it's between 8 and 10, that's my metric, then that is like something that's like, I love it. And I just listen to the song a million times and I enjoy my own music. I'm not ashamed to say that, right? And so
It's probably a good thing.
yeah, so that keeps the passion because then I'm trying to write my best song. I don't feel like I've written my best song yet, so I'm still
You've written
chasing
some
that
good
best song.
songs, bro. You've written some good songs. So
Appreciate it.
yeah, if you ain't written your best one yet,
nah.
Yeah,
I had a dream the other night, man.
Yeah.
And I was playing the piano in this dream, and the song was so dope. And I woke up and hummed it on my phone so I could remember how it went, but I couldn't hum the chords. So I forgot what I was playing. But I've had these dreams of songs that feel like my best songs, but I didn't have a keyboard with me, so I couldn't. I woke up in the middle of the night. I wake up all the time, like out of my sleep with music, and most of the time I just start writing, or, So yeah, I hope I
That's
didn't
cool.
lose that one all the way.
Yeah, you got to put the keyboard next to you. That's cool. I just wake up and have to pee. So I don't wake up with none of that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Jason, how do
I
you keep
think
passion alive
honestly,
without letting it consume you?
I think honestly, the passion keeps itself alive. Like what Cam's saying, like when he has that feeling, like when it drives him to be able to write and he connects in it in that way, it's going to keep itself alive. It's up to you to not let it consume you. You have to put the boundaries up around it to make sure, like Cam said, every Monday is his writing session, and he does his thing. That like he's found a way to channel that in a positive way and keep it from consuming the rest of his situation. And that's what you have to do. Like you have to get to a point where you put some kind of boundary up to say, I want to do this, I'm going to do this, but I'm going to dedicate such and such a time to it, and I can't get outside of those boundaries. There'll be one-offs here and there, things that happen that you can't just put the pen down when you want to, or you can't, whatever your passion is that you're pursuing, you can't just put it down right at that time. That doesn't mean that you just destroy the boundary and you can't ever go back to having the boundary. It just means those are one-off things that happen. But at the same time, like you have to continue. If the passion drives you to the point that you have to continue to do the things, just make sure that you're being conscious of the return on the investment that you're getting. If it's an emotional return on investment, then that's fine. But if your life is crumbling around you, but you're like, I feel really good, but I haven't paid the house payment in 3 months, like that's a problem. Like that's when those boundaries come in handy.
And another thing is, the longer I've been doing this, I've identified inspiration. Like I know when I'm inspired, and in those moments, I'll stop what I'm doing and go to the studio. Like, I got to go to the studio right now because I'm feeling so inspired to write. I don't know something may be happening in my life, and something just sparked. So at those moments, like there is it consuming me because I don't get the same result if I put it to the side and then come back to it. And so, but I don't let it consume me where it hurts me. You know what I mean? Like if I'm in the middle of printing a job, I'm not just finna turn off the the dryer and be like, "Yep, they're gonna have to wait. I know the event is today,
Right.
but oh well."
Got a 3 o'clock deadline, but this melody ain't gonna stop.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
yeah. So I think what it's been for me is coming back to I need to just prioritize things and understand that it's okay to set something to the side for a moment and focus on what you need to focus on. That passion doesn't have to disappear with age. Responsibility does get louder though. And so, you know, taking care of responsibilities makes space to be able to focus on the passion. So if I have everything done, my notes done, my kids is good, everything is good, I can my ability to focus on my passion and do things is so much more clear than it is if I'm trying to, you know, I know all this stuff is out here that needs to be done, but I'm trying to get this focus on my passion. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. Like, and so, you know, setting it to the side for a moment, handling your responsibilities is just going to makes it so much clearer to focus on that passion at that point. So it's like anything, if you idealize it, it's going to, and let it consume you, it's going to destroy everything else. Right. So, but any final thoughts, anything before I close out the show?
Yeah, I think being a mature artist, I've learned that there's more both ends than either ors. You know,
Because a human, many people need to learn that. But yeah.
Yeah. And that, you can do multiple things and you can do the things you love and you can be who you need to be also to, father, husband, business owner, student, and it's not as many either ors that we kind of put ourselves into these boxes. And I'm trying to lean into that more and more and learn how to navigate in those spaces. Like again, that's why I have a writing session on Monday. And just trying to keep the practice of expressing, and that's what music is for me, man. It's expression. And the arts are so important because they help us deal with life and seeing things from a different perspective. And so,
Yeah. Man, I wish that more people would think about the both and, because I think that would help us so many different aspects of our life and in the world and society if people would understand the both and concept. We're so stuck in an either or mindset right now, it feels like, in a lot of different areas. Jason, final thoughts?
I honestly think you're the only person who can define and decide, if the passion is overtaking your life, if it's consuming different areas. And you're also the only person who can decide when it's time to put it down or if it's ever gets time to put it down. Like I'm one of those people that thinks that you can ride it till the wheels fall off. Like there's no reason to think that it's not something that's going to work for you. If it's something that makes you feel good, makes you that you're energized for, that it kind of helps complete your day, do it. As long as it's not, as long as you're not letting it become a detriment in other areas of your life, then continue on with it. It just, but also don't be afraid to refocus what that looks like. There needs to be could possibly be a little bit of refocus, reframing, kind of reframe the mindset surrounding it. But at the same time, like as long as you're willing and open to do that, like I don't think there's any harm in it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Well, Cameron Durand,
Yes,
appreciate you
sir.
joining us and
Appreciate y'all,
being a
man.
part of the episode today. If this episode hit something real for you, send it to someone who's in that same tug of war. And we genuinely want to hear from you. How has your definition of success changed? What did you have to let go of or protect? Let us know. Comment, DM us, send us a message, whatever you want to do. We want to hear from you. So follow at the MAJO Podcast on all social media platforms. Search the MAJO, MAJO Podcast on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, all the podcasts, for wherever you listen to podcasts at. And we got a new episode coming for you next week. Hope to see you then.
Okay, hold on.
Take it easy.
You didn't tell them the name of the album.
Okay, yeah. My bad.
You trying to short my man?
Yeah, my bad. And you're right. And tell them where they can connect with you and all the good stuff. My bad on that.
Got you. So the album is called Love Again. It's under Cameron Durand. All my social medias are Cameron Durand Music. You can also follow 778 Music Group, social medias as well. That's the number 778 Music Group. But the album is Love Again. It's on all streaming platforms, so go check it out.
Yeah, that's dope. So, well, we hope to see you again next week for a real raw, unfiltered conversation.
Yeah, I'll take it easy.
All right.